A quick TT Rockstars update before we start today's lesson. So, looking at each class, well done to 2L. 40% of your class went on TT Rockstars in the last 7 days. 29% of 2W, 20% of 2SH, and 13% of 2CH. If you know that was you, well done. We're going to look at Numbots tomorrow and then look at some of your super maths work as we go through the week.
Good morning, Year 2, and welcome to this week's maths lessons. Hope you had a nice weekend and you're ready to rock and roll. So we're going to get our brains warmed up this morning by thinking about something we did last week. So last week, I know one of the things you looked at was odd and even numbers. There are going to be some numbers flashing up on your screen. If they are odd, you're going to do the sign language for odd, which is like this, okay? If it's an even number, the sign language for even is like this. Tap your hands like that. So if we see the number 3, is that an even number? No, it's odd, so we need to show this sign. If we see the number 2, we know that that is even. So if we know that 2 is an even number, then we also know that 22 is an even number. Looking at the ones. Remember that pattern? 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. You're looking at the ones in each number to check that if it's even or if it's odd.
So we know the opposite numbers, the ones that we miss out, are our odd numbers. 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. And the pattern works the same way, so we look at the ones. 11, 13, 15, 17 and 19 are also odd. See if you can remember now using those sign language actions for odd and even. Now have a look at our Numicon pieces. You should have a copy of the Numicon in your pack that we sent home in September. You might want to cut them out if you haven't done it already, and you could use them for today's lesson. Have a look at them. Can you tell easily which ones are odd and even? Why? Well, what we know about even numbers is that if we count in twos, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, we hit all of the even numbers, so we can divide them all equally by 2. Our odd numbers, we can't, so with our Numicon we can easily see the odd one out left at the side. Have a quick check. Did you get them all? Did you spot that with the Numicon pieces, part of it would be sticking out if it was an odd number? We're going to be carrying straight on from Miss Hammond's lesson on Friday using the division sign, multiplication and equals. Remember the bigger picture of understanding division and knowing our times tables really well, because it helps us all of the time doing lots of tasks in our everyday life. We're going to help these explorers make sure that they share their resources fairly. We're going to need words like equal, share, groups, division and recognise. We're going to start now with a your turn. Have a look at the next few pictures. What do you see? Is there anything you notice? You should be able to see pieces of Numicon. They're stacked up a little bit. What do you notice? Could you use any of the vocabulary that we need for this lesson to describe what you can see? Pause the video when you need to and tell a partner. Hopefully you spotted that the groups at the bottom are equal to the group at the top. We've used our Numicon to share out the group. So at the top we've got 8 and then 2 groups of 4 at the bottom. We're going to use them to recap the methods Miss Hammond talked about on Friday. So on the first picture we've got 8 at the top. That's our whole group. We took 8 and we've divided it into 2 groups underneath. So we've got the division sign and the number 2. So 8 divided by 2, then we can count how many are in each group. So the answer is 4. 8 divided by 2 equals 4. We've shared them out. But we could also read that as how many 2's go into 8. Look at the other Numicon. So we've got 2's at the bottom there. So we start with the number 2 and we're turning it into a multiplication sentence. 2 multiplied by 4. 2 4 times equals is the same as the 8 at the top. 2 times 4 is 8. We could even write it one more time like I have at the bottom there. 4 times 2 is 8. Here's our next Numicon piece. Can you count it? There are 4, so our whole number is 4. At the bottom we've got 2 more Numicon pieces. Together they are equal to 4. Can you take a your turn now? Can you write the division sentence and the multiplication sentence that these Numicon represent? Time for a check. Let's have a look. Well, as we said, the whole number, the number we started with, was 4. We had the Numicon piece 4 at the top. So we started our division sentence with the number 4. It's been divided, shared into 2 equal groups. So we've got 4 divided by 2. There are 2 in each group. So we've got 4 divided by 2 equals 2. Now, if we turn it round into a multiplication sentence, we've now got to look at the bottom first. So 2 times, or 2 times 2, equals 4. So when we're using our multiplication to solve division, we are literally just thinking of it the other way round. So instead of 4 divided by 2, we're thinking how many 2's go into 4. Then we can make sure we've done a check. If we're dividing by 2, we should be starting with an even number. Now have a go at this one. The top part shows some Numicon. That's our whole number. That's how many snacks Tom has to share with his dad. Can you work out what the numbers at the bottom would be? They're sharing them equally. Can you write the division sentence and the multiplication sentence? Okay, so now time for a check. So have a look at the Numicon. We've put 2 equal groups at the bottom and we've found that we've got 2 8's. 2 8's are equal to 16. So we can start with 16 and share between 2, divide by 2, which equals 8. And then we've got our circles and our dots like you did last time. Or we can count in 2's to see how many there are in 16. So now count how many 2's go into 16. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. How many? 8. Well done. Another your turn. So again, the whole number is at the top. The bottom is split into 2 equal halves. Can you work out the division sentence and the multiplication? Well done if this is what you wrote. 12 divided by 2 equals 6 and 2 times 6 equals 12. Let's have a look at how we can check with our circles. So we know that 12 is the number that we need to share out. We're dividing by 2, so we've drawn our 2 circles. Then we share out our 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've got 6 in our one circle and 6 in the other one. So we have 2 equal numbers. But we can also count in our 2's to solve this. Let's do that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Now have a look at this one. It's another your turn. Let's see what the number at the top is together. So we've got 3 5's as our Numicon pieces. You can count in 1's or you could count in 5's to find the total. Count in 5's with me. 5, 10, 15. So the total is 15. What would the numbers be in the bottom? Can we divide 15 by 2 equally? Time for our check then. So I know I've got 15. I know that's the number I'm starting with and I'm dividing by 2. So I'm going to draw my 2 circles and share out again. So 1, 2, keep counting with me. Okay, and then when we've shared them all out, we're going to count how many are in each circle. So we've got 7 and 8. Are they equal? No, they're not. But we should have known that 15 couldn't be shared equally into 2 equal groups because it is an odd number. Well done. Okay, now it's time for our final Your Turn of the day. So, Chilly Challenge 1, you have some number sentences to solve. Can you divide all of them by 2 and get a whole number as your answer? Are there any that are incorrect? Then look at the Numicon at the bottom. Are any of those showing equal groups or a number divided by 2? As an extra spicy challenge, perhaps you could write the number sentences to go with the correct pictures and tell a grown-up why you think that is, why they're correct. For Chilly Challenge 2, there are a number of items that you might use or might see when you're camping. Can those items be divided by 2? Show you're working out, can you count in 2s? Or use your knowledge of odd and even numbers to know which ones will work and which will not. Chilly Challenge 3, there are 3 bar models there. Can you work out if there is an odd one out? And explain why. Have a go and then come back for a check. Well done for taking on our challenges today. Time for a check. So, Chilly Challenge 1, did you find any of those number sentences that were correct? Well, on the next screen you'll see it. So 7 divided by 2 and 9 divided by 2 were incorrect because they're odd. And then you might have also done the extra spicy challenge where the 10 divided by 2 cannot be 6 and 4 because they are not equal. And we know 10 divided by 2 equals 5, so there should have been 2 equal groups of 5 at the bottom. Now a check for Chilly Challenge 2. So those tent pegs, because they were 24, they were an even number, could be divided by 2. So could the sandwiches, but unfortunately the logs could not, nor could the compasses. The mugs could too, but the matches could not. Well done if you got all of those right, and I look forward to seeing your working out sent to our email address. And finally, Chilly Challenge 3. Looking at those bar models, could you tell which one was the odd one out? Well, hopefully you've shown your working out just like this, and the odd one out was the one at the bottom because the number was odd and couldn't be divided by 2 equally using those whole numbers.
Well done, Year 2. Hope you've enjoyed some more dividing by 2. Tomorrow's lesson, we'll be looking at dividing by 5. Okay, see you tomorrow.